We'd like to welcome Dylan Jordan, candidate for District 4 House. The South Dakota Property Rights and Local Control Alliance thanks you for participating in our 2026 primary legislative candidate video survey. As a nonpartisan grassroots organization, SDPRLCA is dedicated to protecting private property rights and maintaining local authority. Following the 2024 general election, where 65 of 66 South Dakota counties voted no on Referred Law 21, voters are eager to hear where the 2027 legislative class stands on these core issues. And for our ground rules tonight, we'll have an introduction of a minute and a half. There's 5 targeted questions with 2 minutes allowed per response, and then a closing statement of another 2 minutes. Upon completion of the video survey, we'll have you go ahead and log off the call. The 5 questions will focus specifically on property rights and local control, and you've received those ahead of time and have had a chance to take a look at those. We are recording tonight, and those recordings will be posted on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our website. So for our introduction, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the voters. Please tell us about your background, your connections to your district, and what specific conviction or event led you to step forward and run for the South Dakota Legislature in 2026.
All right. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for having me and thank you for doing this and thank you for all the work you guys do. Uh, my name is Dylan Jordan. I'm running for re-election for the South Dakota House for District 4. And I am proud to be the constitutional candidate running. 2 years ago, or I started getting more involved around COVID time when I saw our way of life slipping, it seemed like, through our our way of life was just slipping through our fingers. And then I started getting active and started an activist group. And then in 2024, we needed people to run. So I got talked into running. And that's why I ran, because people asked me to, because of the work I was doing, because I saw the way our life was slipping away. Life, liberty, and property was the first draft of our Declaration of Independence. So it is very important to the foundation of America and our rights. It's God-given rights to own our property. Even that's the intelligent property, physical property you own, your vehicle, all that. So I'm just glad. It's an honor to stand up for property rights. I'm honored that you guys gave me one of the highest scores this last year. I'll always stand up for property rights, and I'm also glad to be a co-sponsor of a lot of the property rights bills and a prime sponsor of Senate Bill 49 that sadly did not pass in 2025.
All right, let's move on to our first question, and it kind of takes off from your introduction. It's district specific. What do you identify as the primary property rights issue in your district, and what is your single most serious concern regarding it? And that is resource depletion, loss of local control, or unintended consequences. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I live in Dual County, or live and work in Dual County. I forgot to mention that, and that is the hotbed of the data center debate. I am the only candidate that has consistently been against giving tax breaks to billion-dollar data centers. My district mate is actually the one that introduced the bill, and Dual County is where the big data center was projected to be. Thankfully, through hard work of the legislature that I am thankful I was a part of, we stopped those tax exemptions. So that did it, but so that made it so this project is put onto pause. But if you ask everyone around here, they're worried about their way of life. In Toronto, where it's supposed to go, or Astoria, there's already 3 windmill farms and 2 power lines, and then they put there's the industrialization going on all over District 4, especially in Dual County. And all of it's a threat. It seems like we're being attacked on all sides, and it's a good thing that we can defend that. And there's a good group here attacking that, and I'm glad to be a part of that as well.
All right, to kind of keep on that same theme here. So our question number 2 is on an action plan. What specific legislative action or policy change would you champion to address this issue?
The biggest thing is I heard others talk about, and I support it also, is to work on regulating or adjusting the rules for referring the law. Because I know in Sioux Falls they have a lot of issues with that. There's a big power line that's going to go through in Dual County that the power isn't going to go to Dual County or South Dakota. It's going to go to Minnesota. And the citizens here in Dual County got that referred onto the ballot on June 2nd to make it so farmers don't have to be forced to have a power line that isn't going to help them on their land, and as well as a lot of this data center stuff. So just laws to help maintain the ability for them to be able to do that, and then also just protect all God given rights in South Dakota. That I think all rights are important, including property rights.
All right, question 3, core components. Property rights involve the right to possess, control, exclude, enjoy, and dispose. How is the right to exclusion at risk from state mandates in your district, and how will you protect it?
I think if the people that live in my case, Dual County, don't want something on their land, or they don't want we were in the hotbed of the carbon pipeline battle as well. If you don't want it on your land, you shouldn't have it on your land. It's your land, and as your legislator, I will continue to make for sure that you can do on your property as you wish, or not do things on your property that you don't wish. And people, especially in Toronto and Astoria, they like their peace and quiet, and they have the right to do something, but they also have the right to tell all these big corporations, not right here, right now. So go and go somewhere else. So I will fight to maintain the right for us to be able to just tell people no, thank you.
All right, question number 4, more eminent domain. Under what specific circumstances, if any, do you believe eminent domain should be used for projects owned by private corporations?
I don't think there should ever be eminent domain for private gain. I actually think it should be almost impossible to use eminent domain. That's one reason why I was a House Prime sponsor of Senate Bill 49, which would have made it so no green energy would be able to use eminent domain to help ensure that. Sadly, that died in state affairs, but I think it should be impossible for a private company to do it and have eminent domain be back to its constitutional original meaning.
All right, we're on our 5th question. Local control. Describe a scenario in which local control is not enough protection.
Uh, there's a couple examples, like one of ours in Sioux Falls, where they say that they give you almost impossible situations to refer laws or refer ordinances. And then also there's other instances, like the power line that I mentioned going through Dual County. None of that is going to help District 4, but other Dual County, but other counties want it, and then because they're saying interstate commerce and all that, these people are forced to use an eminent domain to have these power lines go through. And a lot of these data centers, it's using everyone's electricity, not just that one corner it's connected. The electricity doesn't care what county it's in. So there is some regulation and rules for the state, because there is different levels of government. But as much as we can keep local, let's keep that local. But if it's going to affect the whole area, there should be a little more. Or if it's a state issue, there should be a little more control at a state level for a couple instances like that.
All right, we are at our closing. As we head toward the June 2nd primary, it's vital that voters know how to reach their potential representatives. For our final 2 minutes, please let the folks in District 4 Know how they can contact you directly, where they can pick up a sign to show their support, or how they can join your team as a volunteer, or how to give donations.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to throw out there that I am the only candidate, besides for one that is low in the polls, and he was for the carbon pipeline. But I'm the only candidate that has spoken against giving tax breaks to data centers, and that was against the given using eminent domain for the carbon pipeline. At originally speaking, the other close candidate voted for two of the three. Fred Deutsch voted for two of the three property rights bills. So if you want to help get me back in so we can maintain that there is a voice of reason for property rights, please visit jordan4sd.com. Stalk me on Facebook. My phone number's on here, 605-520-4547.
Oh, Dylan, I think you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. You can go on there if you contact me anyway, jordan4sd.com. If you want to donate, look me up on Facebook, Dylan Jordan, and just let me know and I can get in contact with you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Dylan, before you hop off, I missed it when you were talking. What is your property rights issue in District 4? I just want to put that on the chat.
Yep, data centers and the data center, and then also the power lines and windmill companies. The Astoria and Toronto, those are the two townships and towns. They have a big power line coming through. It's the biggest one in history, or the biggest one they make. That's going to go up on the ballot, and then they have the three wind farms, two power plants, and the data center that was going to be there, all in a town of 250. And they just want to be left alone, which I agree.